I had a change of heart because in my 28 years on this earth, I have never met anyone who was as patient and as understanding of my personality as Matilda has been in my time here.
Listen, I've been saying this, okay? A lot of people, you know, continuously want to try and force a narrative to throw Matilda under the bus as being the one that is here to just use Niles. She's here just to take advantage of him. And listen, don't get me wrong. There has been signs, there has been little things here and there, but I've never been fully convinced. Purely because, well, her patience with him throughout the season has been incredible. Given the fact that her brother allegedly said, well, given that her brother said that she allegedly had a temper, I was like, that temper still hasn't been shown yet. And obviously in the, not last week, or the week before episode, when she obviously finally like just broke, that was because, of course, you know, Niles kept on, you know, poking the bear. And in the end, she just lost her shit. But at the same time, though, I wouldn't go as far as saying that she lost her temper to the same type of standard as like an Angela or a Jasmine. You know what I mean? It was at a respectful level. It was a respectful level because she was going to a point where she was like, she just felt as if this man had just been doing too much, that he had just lied too much, that he had, you know, flipped the narrative, so therefore it favored him rather than it favored her. And that's something that we're going to touch on again in this video. But something else happens that pretty much brings everything to full circle of why in their relationship, Niles has always been the problem and Matilda has shown nothing but just genuine energy. Let's continue.
The only question is, do we have to have the big party?
No. Even though I won't get the party I was waiting for. Hearing now saying he wants to get married on this trip, it makes me so happy.
And the matter of the fact is, that's all she's ever wanted, just to get married to this man. And of course, come to America, which I understand is where people think she wants to come to America for just one thing, and that's just to enjoy the life. But listen, if you ask me personally, I believe that when it came to her and Niles being together, her being with him alone was just like, wow, this man wants me. But then him being from the States was just a bonus. Because I know flat out that when you live in some countries in Africa, because our TV is dominated by American TV, all we see is the bright lights of New York City. You know what I mean? You know, the sunny blue skies of LA. That's what we show most of the time. So therefore, there is this dream that's given to us of all the honeys of the beach, and you know, all these people always coming together to build this business plan and that business plan. The unity that is then portrayed. There's so many things you have to understand that are portrayed on American TV that is easily influences the rest of the world. Okay, not the whole world, but to some parts of the world. And if you come from a place where you feel as if you got less opportunities, or you feel like maybe it's not as glamorous or whatever, or you feel as if people have a certain mentality that isn't necessarily for you, but then you're looking at the thing that you've always grown up on. And what you've always grown up on is the influence of American TV, because it dominates in every single country. I'm pretty sure every country. We continue. I mean, it does, because 90 Day Fiancé is in every bloody country. So that tells you a lot about American TV. Listen, I promise you now, there are some places, there are some countries in Africa, right, where they solely only show things from America and they barely show things from their own homeland. That's the kind of power and dominance that you have in this world that you don't recognize. And that's why a lot of people have this mentality of, oh, one day I have to get to America. I must go to America. It's such a dream to be at. Because it's what people are exposed to the most worldwide. I used to be one of those people myself, you know? I used to be. But then I realized, man, the UK has got me good. But let's continue. Even though I have my issues with the UK, but who doesn't have issues with their own country, right?
Always said that you weren't prepared for this. Do you feel like Mr. Ark pressured you to get married?
I think Mr. Ark pressured me to get married. Because, you know, if he had pressured me, I would have just said, no, I'm not doing it.
Questioning the young man again. And listen, I get it. Sometimes producers do question other people as well. I'm not saying they don't, okay? But why not just be happy for the guy? Why are you questioning his change of heart? Listen, at the end of the day, he's opened up his eyes and he's recognized that Matilda has done nothing but be patient with him. Has done nothing but try and at least adapt to him. Fair enough, she has her flaws like anybody else, who sometimes she reacted in a way as if she was hoping you'd understand, forgetting that he's on the spectrum, but she's a freaking human being, you know? But, when we get there, we'll get there.
The money
Well, this is all I have. This is about 1,300 CDs I have.
in your account.
in my account, yeah.
So Niles was supposed to take out 4,700 CDs, okay, to help the wedding go through with the Nokia ceremony and the wedding with everything that was obviously afforded. But it turns out he only has 1,300 CDs.
Matt, there's something I need to tell you.
What?
Just before I embarked.
And nobody can say this was masking. Don't you dare say that.
I lost my job.
I feel bad that Niles lost his job, but it's so frustrating to be with a man who can't tell the truth.
Who can't do what, sorry? Who can't tell the truth. This whole season, Niles has done nothing but lie per most episodes. Masking, as he calls it. Masking as other people call it. Nah. This guy knows what he's doing. He's always been aware of what it... Niles is not a freaking idiot. Okay? Being in the spectrum has nothing to do with his actions. I'm telling you now, this guy is intelligent. He has been educated very well on certain things, and he plays it to his advantage. And that's what he's been doing. I do wonder, all these relationships that he had in the past, I do wonder why they really didn't work out. I do wonder. If only we could have a conversation with one of his exes to let us know what was one of Niles' biggest flaws. I wouldn't be surprised they said it was masking. Yeah.
He was honest with me and my family in the first place. We could have negotiated lower for the bride price.
And here's the thing. If he had been honest in the first place, and given that Matilda's telling the truth, if he had been honest in the first place, right, but then the family was still demanding more money than he had, then he would have known that this family ain't shiz. Then he would have known that maybe Matilda isn't with me for the right reasons. But because he has consistently lied and consistently tried to win over by using his money to be able to dampen the mood for when he tells the truth about certain things, look what he's done. He's ruined his own pocket, right? But he has left it. He had put himself in a position where Matilda can happily sit there and say, well, if he was truthful with me, things could have been different. But now we'll never know. Now, this is why I always say to people, always be truthful. If you really want to know if somebody belongs in your life, always be truthful. And their reaction will tell you exactly what you need to hear. But if you are going to lie to somebody to keep them in your life or whatever, then you're never going to know whether that person is generally a good person for you. But here's the flip side though, right? He's been lying most of the time to Matilda. So the question is this: should Matilda still want to tolerate this man? Should she still want to be in a relationship with him? Should she want to actually trust him moving forward? Should she even believe that even if she does come to this date, he's going to be able to look after her until she can find a job? Should she trust him?
We can't go back. We need to find a way to get the money, or my family will not allowing him to get married to me.
See what
Niles has shot himself in the foot.
Mr. Ark is willing to do to help me cover the rest of the expenses for this wedding.
I'm sorry, but when I heard this man say, hopefully Mr. Ark... Remember, this is the same Mr. Ark that he did not go to when he arrived in Ghana. He could have gone to him in Ghana. He could have gone to when he arrived in Ghana from the very beginning. Asked him all the questions needed, but instead he was following Matilda's lead. And then when things didn't plan out the way he hoped to, he then threw Matilda under the bus to Uncle Ark, Mr. Ark. And what happened? Mr. Ark then got pissed and then pretty much told her off. And then that's when she lost her cool because she had been disrespected and embarrassed because Niles went over to Mr. Ark to tell him a whole bunch of that she had done with the family or how they had misled him. When the whole damn time, he could have gone to Mr. Ark from the very beginning. So my point being is, so when he needs money or when it's coming to the last resort where he needs something, he can now remember to go to Mr. Ark. But when he needed to know everything that he needed to know beforehand, he couldn't have gone to him beforehand. Like, yo, when we saw her last episode being completely pissed with him, like, I was thinking to myself, there's clearly something that he has done in a consistent way that is definitely rattled her. Because I didn't believe that she was rattled just for the sake of it. You see what I'm saying? No one is perfect, but this guy's done more wrong than she has. To be honest with you, she's barely done that much wrong. Like, all she was... You have to understand something, right? Everything that she has done, I would say, was based on the energy and the information that she was given by Niles. Niles had given her perception that he had money. He had given her perception that he was still working. He had given her so many different perceptions. And let's not forget, though, Niles originally said he wasn't going to marry on this trip because he needed to go back to work some more to make some more money. To work where, Miles? Obviously, we know he could have gone back and got a job here, but like, you know what I mean? It's like you made it seem as if you need to go back and earn a few more hours. No, this guy, there's no defending him. That's just that, man. Listen, anybody who wants to come in the comments and say, yeah, but you know, this is what happens. You expect. You know what? Good for you. You say we got to say. I'm not paying attention because I've been calling out this guy's lies for weeks now, okay? And I promise you now, I'm the first person to be an advocate for anyone that's autistic because I have my own qualifications and I worked with kids, you know, as well as few adults, okay? And I've definitely socialized with many adults, okay, who are on the spectrum. So I know my own source of information. Do you see what I'm saying? Listen, hell, one of my closest friends, daughter, you see what I'm saying? Come on now, don't mess me with this BS. This guy right here, his patterns have not fitted any of the experiences I've had or the knowledge that I've had with people on the spectrum. And I understand that there's people on the spectrum in there's a different scale. There's the mild, there's the severe, there's the mid. Listen, I understand I understand as much as I needed to understand when I was working in a profession where I needed to. Let's put it that way. I'm not saying that I know everything. So therefore, that means I haven't encountered every single different type of person. But I've encountered enough to say that this guy right here, in my opinion, has been lying the whole time and BSing the whole time. That's why he was probably annoyed when the producers tried to call him out for his BS. And then obviously he was like, well, these guys are only calling me out because of my pigmentation, without actually saying it, which, well, he was entitled to his own opinion. Anyway, with that being said, let's continue.
I'm going to go in the morning.
Oh, God.
I'm not asking my parents for the money, and a son really should be able to ask his parents.
But you can ask your parents, but they don't trust this relationship. And to be fair, I do wonder though, I do really wonder what Niles was telling his family about this relationship with Matilda that made them not trust him. But here's the thing, easily we could say that they didn't trust Matilda because she's from an African country. They could have easily stereotyped her and said, no, we don't trust her. They could have even been like, well, why would a woman from there want to deal with a man from here who's autistic? So you never know it could be endless reasons. They could have just been acting out of just pure madness, okay? Or maybe he wasn't telling them things that were the best things to hear. You never really know now, because we do know that when he spoke to Mr. Ark regarding his relationship with Matilda, guess what? He embarrassed her, threw her under the bus. And then therefore they had their first ever official actual argument that he couldn't even handle. He couldn't even handle. And it's crazy because he put himself in that position. Now, don't get me wrong. The way he obviously reacted in that situation, okay, when it came to Matilda laying into him, that I could sit and say that, you know, it probably made him become overwhelmed and overstimulated, and therefore obviously he just didn't know how to handle that moment in time. So obviously he ended up freaking out, especially with the amount of noise that was coming from her, from a projection of her voice and being in obviously a very small compartment and not having any ear defenders. I can definitely understand that situation itself, obviously getting too much from 100%. But who put him in that position though? Who put him in that position though? I'll say it one more time. Who put him in that position though? Because it wasn't Matilda. 99% of their problems have been because of who? Who? You're probably thinking about that 1%. That 1% is for the people that think this guy was never making any problems and it was her the whole goddamn time. With that being said, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm ready for this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.